In today's video, I am going to explain muscles around lower leg. There are kind of 4 muscle groups in lower leg. Each segment is called compartment. That means there are 4 compartments in lower leg. I'm gonna explain from anterior part. You are looking lower leg from anterior view. This is anterior compartment. There are 3 muscles in this group. First muscle is this one. This is tibialis anterior. Tibialis anterior. And next one. Next one is this one. This is extensor digitorum longus. Extensor digitorum longus. And the last one is, it's a little bit hard to see. This is it. This is slightly deep muscle. This is extensor hallucis longus. Okay, tibialis anterior, extensor digitorum longus, and deep to them there is extensor hallucis longus. The common function of these 3 muscles are dorsiflexion, and extensor digitorum longus, extensor hallucis longus do extension of toes. Extension of toes. And there's slightly few more minor movements, but I want to focus on the major movements, which is dorsiflexion and extension of toes. This is anterior compartment. And let's go to lateral compartment. Now you are looking lower leg from lateral view. These are anterior compartment muscles, tibialis anterior and extensor digitorum longus. Lateral compartment is this one. This is kind of narrow muscles, right? There are 2 muscles. This is fibrillaris longus. Fibrillaris longus. And deep to fibrillaris longus, there is, fibrillaris brevis. That's it. This is lateral compartment. Functions of these 2 muscles are eversion. Eversion of ankle joint and plantar flexion. Eversion is you show sole of foot to outward. Then plantar flexion is pointing out toe movement. Okay? Eversion and plantar flexion. That's it. Lateral compartment. 2 muscles. Simple, right? Let's go to posterior compartment. You are looking calf. Okay? There are 2 muscles. This is the major one. This is gastrocnemius. Gastrocnemius. Deep to that, what kind of muscle is there? There is muscle called soleus. This is posterior compartment. What is the major function of these 2 muscles? That is plantar flexion. Very strong plantar flexion muscles. If these muscles get tight or dysfunction, that diminishes function of plantar flexion drastically. This is very, very important muscle. By the way, these muscles are antagonist from anterior compartment. What kind of muscles are there on anterior compartment? Tibialis anterior, extensor digitorum longus, extensor hallucis longus. They do dorsiflexion, right? Completely opposite movement. What is function of posterior compartment muscles? That is plantar flexion. See, that is completely opposite function. If one side gets tight, one side cannot function well. What do I mean? If gastrocnemius gets tight, that diminishes dorsiflexion, right? Opposite movement. That inhibits opposite movement. If gastrocnemius gets tight, that inhibits dorsiflexion. Then if anterior compartment, tibialis anterior gets tight, that diminishes plantar flexion, right? So tightness of one side can affect for another one. If tibialis anterior gets tight, maybe gastrocnemius cannot do its job very well. If gastrocnemius gets tight, tibialis anterior may not be able to accomplish its function. See this relationship? This is like a front and back relationship. If front gets tight, maybe backside cannot do its function very well. So this is very important relationship. Now let's go to even deeper part. You are looking the deep part of lower leg. This is deep posterior compartment. Okay, deep posterior. Gastrocnemius and soleus are gone. There are three muscles. First one is this one. This is tibialis posterior. Tibialis posterior. This is flexor hallucis longus. Flexor hallucis longus. Last one is flexor digitorum longus. Common function of these three muscles is plantar flexion. Plantar flexion and inversion. Okay, these are common functions for all three muscles. Plus, flexor hallucis longus and flexor digitorum longus that do flexion of toes. That's opposite from anterior compartment, right? What is function of extensor hallucis longus and extensor digitorum longus? That's extension of toes. Flexor hallucis longus, flexor digitorum longus, they do flexion of toes. Then they do inversion, right? So this is opposite function from where? Lateral compartment. Fibrillaris longus and fibrillaris brevis do eversion. Deep posterior compartment muscles do inversion. So this is like a opposite side, right? So if deep posterior muscles get tight, that affects for lateral compartment. Vice versa, if lateral compartment gets tight, that may affect for deep posterior compartment. So this is very important. There are basically four segments in lower leg. Anterior compartment, like tibialis anterior. Lateral compartment, like fibrillaris longus. Posterior compartment, gastrocnemius, and deep posterior parts, such as tibialis posterior. There are a lot of muscles in lower leg. It's very confusing for first time. There are just bunch of muscles around here. This is one way to memorize anatomy. It's good to separate as segment. That may give you idea to understand for different easy way. Does it make sense? So if you liked today's video, please hit the like button, comment and subscribe. See you next video.